Coach Nabi has received a new offer from Yanga FC. Yanga FC bathi ke thina asilali singandlalelwe thina. We will make sure that we keep Coach Zwane Nabi within Tanzanian Football League. Number 2, but this thing ends where Kaizer Chiefs, it's never gonna work. The combination of Zwane and Nabi, it won't work no matter what. So in today's episode, we are talking about that into detail. So if you are interested, guess what? This video will give you every angle as far as this situation is concerned. Number 2, guys, you really need to stick around and you need to take your chair, sit down, get some popcorns, get some drinks, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna unpack I'm gonna unpack all of the details that are in relating to this video. So if you're interested, then you do need to stick around. As you stick around, there's only one favor that I'm requesting from you guys, and that favor is that you subscribe, you like that video, and you do comment in the comment section below. Why do you need to do all of those nice things? Well, you need to do all of these nice things because, doing it does help out a lot when it comes to the YouTube algorithm to promote and spread this video to as many people as possible. So definitely, good people, the power here is in your hands. Now, speaking about power that is in your hands, let me tell you something. Somebody says the combination of Zwane and Zwane Nabi will not work. Well, you want to know who said that? Well, I've got that interview here. We're going to be talking about that. But before we get into that one, we need to talk about Zwane Nabi and Yanga FC. Yanga FC are saying, no, you know what? You know what? We will make it a point that we keep our coach. They came up with an improved deal. So there is some emerging information that actually compromises Nabi. But don't forget that there is a new coach at Kaizer Chiefs as well that used to coach a team called Lidine, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he has also sent his CV. Yes, I talked about it. I talked about him yesterday. You may want to check that video. It is titled "A New Coach for Kaizer Chiefs." Now, speaking about that, let's talk about the news about Zwane Nabi. Now, news has emerged according to Isoka Laduma. They said that, the reason why there's back and forth between the Delia Kaizer Chiefs and Zwane Nabi, it is simply because of the following. They said that where are they running away? While the possible deal has gained a momentum, there has been suggestion that Yanga are not on the losing are not keen to lose their coach, or they will not lose their coach without a fight. A well-placed source have informed the Sokaladima crew that the Tanzanian outfit are willing to line up a new and improved contract for the 57-year-old in an attempt to hold into his service beyond the expiry of his contract at the end of June. Nabi joined Yanga in 2021 and has managed an impressive overhaul of 6 trophies in 2 seasons. According to CR sources, the coach will now weigh up the offers from both Kaizer Chiefs and Yanga before making a decision on where he will be coaching next season. Aye, go be, good people. Before we jump into the next one, we need to talk about Zwane Nabi weighing up options. Kaizer Chiefs have found themselves in a very compromising situation here, and I do need to mention that. Now, why do I say they do find themselves in a very compromising situation? One, the coach might want to come to South Africa, right? Because most people, they do want to come to South Africa because of our the infrastructure and all the stuff, and the country is well marketed or well advertised. With that, it gives the South African it gives Kaizer Chiefs that bit of an advantage. But let's look at this now. Now, Yanga, they are saying, no, whatever Kaizer Chiefs is offering you, we will offer you. And probably even with an improved deal, or probably with more than what Kaizer Chiefs are offering you. So, you know what it does now? We'll talk about Kaizer Chiefs themselves, right, in this one. Then we'll go back to Yanga, and I'll show you why the deal between Kaizer Chiefs and Yanga, or the deal between Kaizer Chiefs and Nabi, it might fail. One, because Nabi wants to keep his technical team, right? And we've heard Orlando Pirates have approached look at this man, the strength and physical conditioner, a coach who held a PhD in that department and has done exceptionally well. Yanga has gone to a point of performing exceptionally well without injuries. And Yanga were so fit that they can play 120 minutes without feeling anything, right? So courtesy of this coach. So the coach, the strength and conditioning coach. So we all know he's doing very well. And Nabi is saying, you Kaizer Chiefs, you want to separate me with my own team. So it's never going to happen. I want to work with the entire team. Now, let me give you a little bit of a background why he wants to work with his entire team. In 2021, he joined Yanga FC. It was during a lockdown, by the way. If you remember, lockdown started in 2020 March in South Africa, but yeah, it also spread out. So in Tanzania, Nabo, they were under a serious lockdown during 2021. So the coach arrived in Tanzania to coach Yanga. Yanga were in Hollywood, were in a certain camp, like in a pre-season. But because of COVID-19 restriction, he only arrived alone, right? As his technical team was left behind. The coach gets there and then they say, yo, it was a horrible preseason. And the team starts, the league starts and the team starts playing and they were not doing well. Because also of the fact that the coach is not used to work alone. So there was no success. Fast forward, look, as the season was just starting, fast forward, it's not even, the season has not gone that far. The technical team now was allowed to enter Tanzania. Now they enter Tanzania. And as soon as the technical team arrived to help Unabi, then the team took off. The team went on to win 3 trophies in 2021. So you understand why Nabi does not want to separate with this man. Right? So seeing that you understand that, go back to Kaizer Chiefs who are saying you need to separate with your people. So what do you think? If young Africans or if young they are offering what Kaizer Chiefs are offering, yet the difference is if he goes to Yanga, then he doesn't have to separate with his people. He doesn't have to separate with his team. So where do you think he will end up? Look, if you compare the two, chances are if young Africans are offering the same amount that Kaizer Chiefs are offering, but the advantage is that they want him to come with the entire team. Chances are he's gonna take that, and even if I was him, I would definitely take that. So yeah, that's the challenge now that makes it difficult for Kaizer Chiefs. Speaking of Kaizer Chiefs as well, remember that I told you, Gutige, there's this person that says the combination of Zwane and Zwane Nabi, it is not going to work, right? Also, it comes on the basis of what I've just told you right now. No, you can't mix Zwane Nabi, because what if one fails? Then you're going to blame the other. So the other one was saying that the combination of the two is not a good combination. It's never going to work. You can't make Zwane an assistant coach to Zwane Nabi. You think I said it? No. According to Sokala Duma, this is what this guy said. Otige Umlwane tells thekickoff.com, that won't work. That be a disaster. Remember, Zwane has ambitions of being a head coach. Forcing them to work together will bring conflict. Nabi has his own strategy and Zwane has his. Once you become a head coach, it's difficult to accept a demotion and be an assistant again. That's my opinion. I had such an experience as a player where we could see a coach and an assistant were not seeing eye to eye, where an assistant coach will tell you something different and something different from the head coach. Right? Remember, a foreigner and local coach will always have different way of thinking, and local will always tell players to play their own game. What an interesting one. Let's just dissect. We are not yet done here, but I like the fact that if you, in comparison, if you have been a head coach, now you are told to be, look, now you are demoted. It's a different ball game altogether, right? And number two, he mentions the issue of culture, right? Zwane is a local coach, while Zwane Nabi is an international in South Africa, right? So that creates a conflict. It then make me think of something, hey? We are, okay, wait a minute. I started this in a wrong way. At Mamelodi Sundowns, we were told that the reason the contract between the contract between Rulane Mokoena and Sundowns was dragging, it is simply because Rulane Mokoena is saying, no, I cannot have Mangoba Mngeti as my assistant. No, I want my own technical team. Do you see the problem right there? Right? So we were told not long ago that there is a war at Mamelodi Sundowns within their technical team. There's a struggle power. There's power struggle there. The other one says this, the other one says that, the other one says this, the other one says that. Right. We were told that people don't see eye to eye at Mamelodi Sundowns. Don't you think that this person is, what this guy is saying is actually making sense to say two head coach in one team will cause a conflict? Wouldn't you reference what is already happening with Mamelodi Sundowns to say we already see that Mangoba Mngeti and Rulane Mokoena don't see eye to eye because all of them now are head coaches. You know what I'm saying? Speaking about all of them being a head coach, let's take it right from there. We say then, if look like we've had Kaizer Chiefs we're offering Mangoba Mngeti a contract to come and assist at Zwane. In the same breath, do you think that Mangoba Mngeti can leave Sundowns after so much conflict and as he was demoted to be the assistant coach? Do you think that he can just leave that post, vacate that post, and go and take another assistant coach? Whereas he himself, he is a head coach. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's going to be a little bit difficult to have Mangoba Mngeti to Kaizer Chiefs and to come and assist Zwane. So there's quite an interesting perspective, or there's quite an interesting point of view that this situation is creating. We already see it at Mamelodi Sundowns. It's not working. And we must give credit to, is it this former Kaizer Chiefs player or what, who once stated this thing and said that this coaching at Mamelodi Sundowns is not working. And at the time, we did not see what the person was saying. Until now, we got the report that no, actually there's a conflict at Mamelodi Sundowns. People don't see eye to eye. It is the assistant coach and the head coach that are at loggerhead. Do you see the point? So why will you then bring that? Bring Mangoba Mngeti? Will he allow will he allow that a situation where he leaves Mamelodi Sundowns after a conflict and then he goes to Kaizer Chiefs and assists Zwane? But on the brighter side, let me give you this one. I don't know why, but it did happen, right? Where Kevin Johnson becomes an assistant coach Pitso Mosimane in Egypt when Pitso Mosimane was coaching Al Ahly, right? So Kevin Johnson was Pitso Mosimane's assistant. So yes, he came back earlier. Could it be that it was also the same problem? Or we should view it as if it was a success? Maybe there were some problems that brought him back home. I don't know. But I think there is quite a number of things that we need to look at here. Speaking about the quite number of things that we need to look at in the situation, let's continue to hear what the man said. The man continued and said, Remember, okay, let's leave the foreign apart. For the past 6 years, Chiefs were coached by local coaches. I don't know where did he take that name, and I don't know if this Kaizer Chiefs way of culture they were trying to introduce, did it produce any result in those 6 years? If Kaizer Chiefs want a local assistant coach, then they must get somebody else, not Zwane. Sometimes even the players will disrespect Zwane. They will say, what can he tell us when he failed? Players are naughty. The best thing for Zwane is to go back to the development structure or join another team. Now listen carefully. So there are three things here. The best thing is for him to go back to the development side or join another team. Or, right, the problem that is going to face is that he's going to be disrespected by players. Let's talk about players, for instance. we have heard, is it Mbuyane from Orlando Pirates, former Orlando Pirates player, has spoken about how good, how Orlando Pirates signed this good player, a hot striker. Ne? But as local players, they sat down and they were like, this guy, we need to get rid of this guy. So they made it a point that the guy, they didn't pass the guy, and they made him suffer. They made him not enjoy, not to enjoy his stay at Orlando Pirates, to the point that Orlando Pirates ended up releasing the player. With that being said, it therefore tells you that players do have this naughtiness behavior in them, where they go to a point of disrespecting the other, and they go to a point of causing a coach to be fired. That's one aspect of it. The other aspect, he's saying that no, Zwane must go and just find another team, be a coach right there. But here's the problem with that. The problem with that is that Kaizer Chiefs at this moment doesn't seem like they are interested to let go of their head coach, right? Because if they were interested to bring on or to let go of the head coach, they would have let go Zwane, because maybe look, at the end of the day, they would have hired anybody else anyway. So they would have fired Zwane already in preparation to hire a new coach. But there they are, they kept him. It shows us that they are not willing to part ways with Zwane, right? So the third option that he suggested is that take Zwane, just put him back into the development structure. In that way, then you have to again ask the same question. Head of development at Kaizer Chiefs, it is Mlefenzeki, number one. Two, in the lower division, you've got Letolonyane's brother that is coaching the under 15. You've got David Matebula that is coaching the under 19, and then you've got Veli Kumara that is coaching the MDC team. Where all of those people have contracts that are running with Kaizer Chiefs. So where are you going to put Zwane then? Because you do have other people that have running contract with Kaizer Chiefs. So where are you going to place Zwane? But if you're looking at Zwane in the development, the things that Zwane has done in the development, they're incredible. Number one, he produced Blom. He's the one that found Blom, brought him to Kaizer Chiefs. He even spoke to the parents, brought him to Kaizer Chiefs. There we have now, Blom has gone overseas and is exceptional. Number two, he's the one that brought Ngezana, spotted Ngezana, produced Ngezana, developed Ngezana, and then boom, he was promoted to the first team. Number three, he's the one that found him Mdu Shabalala, produced him Mdu Shabalala. Look at what Mdu Shabalala has became, what he has became, right? Number four, he's the one that produced the like of Kosing Pilengobo, right? We all know that people love his attacking abilities, right? Number five, he's the one that produced Happy Mashian. We all know what Happy Mashian is capable of doing going forward. Number six, he's the one that has produced, we're busy naming players after players. He's the one that produced Sabelo Hatebe, right? You know what I'm saying? He's been there when Sabelo Hatebe was produced. So I'm saying there are quite a number of players that were produced by this coach. So it shows that the coach does have the capability of producing players, right? What I'm not sure about is Wandile Dube. I'm not sure whether he was found by him, and when Veli Kumalo arrived at Kaizer Chiefs, he arrived while Wandile Dube was already there, or he was found by the same coach, Zwane. But I'm saying, even in the development, we've seen what Zwane is capable of doing. So all of those things combined tells you that if you demote him back to the development, you are going to see a better Kaizer Chiefs. But what is going to give you more advantage now is that he has been the head coach of the senior team. He understands pressure now differently. He has experienced pressure differently. He understands tactics differently. He understands psychology of the game differently. Now, if he had to become the coach to the reserve side, it means that he's gonna produce players with a very different mentality now, because he now has a different experience. That alone says that For me, I will say you do not want to let go of such a coach. Rather, take that coach, demote him to a development structure, and see what he will do for you. Chances are, because Kaizer Chiefs, number one, they've been lacking as far as creating or being best in terms of defending, even in the MDC league, right? They've been lacking, and then the senior side as well. Two, the type of players that were produced by Kaizer Chiefs, they produce players that are always focusing on developing their game going forward, right? So but when it comes to defending, they are always bad. It's only Mdu Shabalala that does assist in defending, and you can't question him too. But when you're looking at Sabelo Hatebe defending, no. Is not make sure. When you're looking at Mashian defending, is not make sure. When you're looking at I can name them. So almost most of Kaizer Chiefs players, when it comes to defending, the players that are coming from the development, when it comes to defending, they are horrible. So now Zwane has been the head coach at Kaizer Chiefs. He has seen how things are done in the professional setup. He understands what is needed for a player to be successful because he has been the coach there. So if you demote him and you make him a coach in the development structure, I believe he will produce best players, right? Tell me about that. But let's go back now. Let's analyze the situation Nabi and Zwane. Why it won't work. Number one, if Nabi fails, he will blame Zwane, right? He will blame Kaizer Chiefs. He will say that I was sabotaged by Zwane, right? Number two, we have seen what happened between Stuart Baxter and Zwane, where Stuart Baxter was saying good, he's just not interested to work with Zwane at all. And to a point that we've seen Stuart Baxter communicating more with his son rather than Zwane. To a point that also people were questioning, who's the assistant coach between Zwane and Lee Baxter, right? We've seen Lee Baxter becoming more active, right? So what if at this time something similar happened? What if we see Coach Zwane being quiet and then we begin to think that he's being abused by Nabi? What if we see Zwane being talkative and we think that is overpowering Nabi? Right? So Kaizer Chiefs are caught with this conundrum. It's either you terminate Zwane's contract and you give him the money that you would have owed him, or you keep Zwane as a head coach, but you buy him players. Let's exhaust this idea of keeping Zwane as a head coach. I believe that it is doable and it's possible. Number one, he's already tested. He already understands the pressure he understands. The problem is, a lot of you think that Zwane has failed. I don't think so. Because of this reason. Go back. Let's look at the local coach that coached Kaizer Chiefs. Steve Kompella arrives at Kaizer Chiefs. He coached Kaizer Chiefs. And if you're looking at Kaizer Chiefs during the days of Steve Kompella, they were very good in defensive. Very, very, very good when it comes to defending. But they had a problem in terms of scoring. Now, if you're looking at the period in which Steve Kompella was hired as Chiefs head coach, it was just after Stuart Baxter, the first stint of Stuart Baxter. And Stuart Baxter had brought in a lot of players who was of age. Now, Kaizer Chiefs needed to reduce the age, and they were at that transactional period. Two, they did not buy players for Steve Kompella. And Steve Kompella, with the little material that he had always reached about how many finals? 2, you know what I'm saying, or 3, I'm not sure. With the little material that he have. At the end, he got fired. Chiefs did not want to buy players for him. It's a similar situation. You cannot convince me in any way, shape, or form that Zwane failed at Chiefs because you did not buy him players. Had you bought him the right players, good quality players, and had Kaizer Chiefs bought players so much so that there is enough depth in the bench, then Kaizer Chiefs would have been in a position to say, yes, we gave you everything, but you just were horrible to a point that you failed. They can blame it on Zwane. But at this moment, Kaizer Chiefs Football Club, and together with fans who are knowledgeable with sport, you can't blame Zwane. Sorry guys, you can't. Right? Now, number 4, the same situation that I've just named right now. Zwane has not bought players, and they did not buy players for Zwane. They did not buy players for Steve Kompela. And today, you think of those coaches as people that have failed Kaizer Chiefs. No. Peter Masimane succeeded at Sundowns because they've got the best quality. Ronnie Mokwena is succeeding at Sundowns because they've got best quality. Mangoba Mnete succeeded at Sundowns because they've got best quality. Jose Rivero is now doing well at Pilot because they've got best quality. But Kaizer Chiefs coaches, for some strange reasons, they are expected to do or compete with Sundowns and Pirate, who have got the best players, while Bona they don't have anything. It doesn't make any logical sense. There is no sense in it. There is no logic in it. You cannot. We are transitioning to point number 4, but before we get into point number 4, look, just before Coach Middendorp was fired, he gave Kaizer Chiefs a very detailed report. Part of the things that he said was that you guys need to start buying quality players. Guess what? As soon as he gave them the report, they fired him because they don't want to be told what to do. They want to be the ones telling you what to do. Speaking about telling you what to do, which is what Kaizer Chiefs are very best at, Coach Zwane Nabi, having studied all of those things combined, he realized that if Kaizer Chiefs really want him, they must bow. I wouldn't say bow down, but they must compromise. They must stop this obsession of controlling things. That is why Zwane Nabi hasn't signed the contract, because if Kaizer Chiefs, they want to control everything, and he's like, no. He put that into the contract. You know why he did that? Remember Romel Foles? He goes to Marimo Gallants. He coached Marimo Gallants. The Marimo Gallants, the technical management, you know what they did? He set up a squad, they changed it, they put their own players. But as soon as Romel Foles fails, they blame it on him. Right? He leaves Marimo Gallants. They backmouth him. And then one day he said, no, the people that are backmouthing me, actually, this is what happened. They started to sabotage me here and here and here. Unfortunately, even at Amazulu, the same thing happened there. And Benny McCarthy confirmed it and said, I told them to change certain people here and certain players because those people had bad influence. Today, people know Romel Foles as if he has failed at Amazulu. Today, Amazulu have just released many players, including people on the management, because guess what? Those people are the ones that were bringing alcohol. Those people were corrupting players. Those people were the ones that are dragging the success of the team. That problem started when Benny McCarthy was there. Benny McCarthy saw the problem, told the owner, yeah, we need to do this. And the owner listened to the other people, not Benny McCarthy. Look what happened. Brandon Truter, he comes in there. Now he couldn't succeed because if you don't agree with a certain group at Amazulu, they will fire you. There's this guy, the spokesperson of Amazulu, that recently got fired because he was in disagreement with the certain group at Amazulu. Only now that Sandile Zungu realized that I need to remove these people. He removed them, or most of them, in the management. Look, Amazulu right now, as we speak, most of the management positions are empty. He's about to refill them because of those things. But look at this guy on bedside. People started to blame Benny McCarthy when success was started. Look, when Amazulu were on the decline. They blamed Truter when Amazulu were on the decline. And they blamed Romel Foles when Amazulu were on the decline. But the problem was caused by the management. That is what Nabi is trying to avoid. That is what has been spotted or said about Kaizer Chiefs. Gavin Hunt said that when I was hired, they promised me that they will buy me players. So, and particularly it was Bobby Muntaung that promised me that he was going to buy me the players that I want for me to succeed at Kaizer Chiefs. Guess what? Soon as I was there, the list was completely changed. They wanted their own players, right? Ernest Middendorp complained almost about the similar situation. Stuart Baxter complained about almost the similar situation. Kaizer Chiefs management always wanting to interfere with coaching and with how people are coaching. And that has caused a lot of problems. That has caused Nabi to say, you must put it in your contract that you will not interfere with my work and you will give me what I want. And for that, I will say, Nabi, you have done exceptionally well, my brother. Do not accept their conditions. Rather, if they do not want to comply with your conditions, go back to Yanga. But do not come to Kaizer Chiefs. If they don't want to comply, leave them. Because honestly speaking, they know, Kaizer Chiefs management knows for a fact. Today, we know what Kaizer Chiefs management did, right? But when it comes to the failure of the club, which is caused by the management, guess who's always blamed? The coach, not the management. Let me talk to you, Zwane Nabi, about this so that you can understand where I'm coming from. Now I'm talking to Nabi. I'm not talking to other people, especially these fans that does not know football. I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to Nabi, strictly Nabi. Nabi, let me tell you something. There's the current coach that is at Kaizer Chiefs, which is Zwane. At the beginning of the season, when he gets there, there's no defensive midfield. The team did not buy him a midfield. So he managed to get Njabulo Blom to a position of becoming the best defensive midfielder in the country, right? Everybody is shouting him and everybody is praising him left, right, and center. Now, Njabulo Blom is doing exceptionally well. Look at this. Look at how the management sabotaged Zwane. The contract gap Njabulo Blom is now running it's now coming to an end. They don't renew the contract. They just keep quiet. After that, they see now we don't have the power to negotiate anymore. They sold Njabulo Blom to America. Did they replace Njabulo Blom? No. So Kaizer Chiefs functioned the entire season without a defensive midfield. Yet all of those things, fans have forgotten about them. Today, the problem at Kaizer Chiefs is Zwane. That's why you see Kaizer Chiefs changing coaches every now and then. Even you, Nabi, they will change you. I'm telling you, if you do not stick or if you do not stand your ground, they will change you. Zwane is expected to challenge Mamelodi Sundowns, but Zwane does not have a defensive midfield. And we have seen how Kaizer Chiefs was performing when they had a defensive midfield. We have seen them changing things. We have seen them becoming the best of Kaizer Chiefs. We were now starting to see, you know what, they are now playing in department. But as soon as Njabulo Blom was left or was taken out, then we saw that it became a different Kaizer Chiefs altogether, right? They did not have a defensive midfield. They let go of Njabulo Blom during the January transfer window. But instead of saying, okay, we have received this money for Njabulo Blom, let's go quickly and find a defensive midfield. Guess what they did? They expected the team to continue like that. Fans of Kaizer Chiefs who does not know football, today they are blaming Zwane. Zwane must go. But Zwane does not have the material to succeed at Kaizer Chiefs. So if you, Zwane Nabi, you accept the post, you better rest assured. If you do not put your foot on the ground during the contract negotiations, you're never going to get anything. Just like Gavin Hunt, they'll give you every promise, everything that you think it sounds good. But if they don't put that on paper, do not agree. Because fans of Kaizer Chiefs, the majority of them that don't know football, they will turn against you. You become the problem. Look at what happened to Zwane. Just a recent story. Forget about Ernest Minando. Forget about Solinas. Forget about Stuart Bucks. Forget about Gavin Hunt. Forget about Steve Compella. Just focus on Zwane alone. Zwane today is the big problem of Kaizer Chiefs fans. They don't want him. He failed Kaizer Chiefs. Blah 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 blah. But nobody is saying, wait a minute. Zwane didn't have a creative midfield. Zwane didn't have a striker. Zwane didn't have a defensive midfield. The defenders of Kaizer Chiefs were just doing their bad things. They were just not on the game. Some of them. But people have forgotten about all of those things. A problem caused by the management. People have forgotten about those problems. they take that problem and blame it on the coach. You will be the sacrificial lamb if you do not don't stand your ground. Believe it or not, you will remember this video. You will be the sacrificial lamb, I'm telling you. If they don't put it on the contract, it means they are not willing to commit on it. Therefore, why accept it? Don't accept it. If they don't put it on the contract that they will sign the players that you want for you to succeed, don't sign that contract with Kaizer Chiefs. Do not. Because they are playing you. They just want you to get in. And then they will say to the fans, but we gave you the best coach. He failed. If they don't want you to bring your own technical team, don't accept that contract. Because they will say, oh, till now we hired the best coach, he just fails. He doesn't know what he do. And they know that they are fans. They don't reason. They just want the team to succeed. They don't necessarily look at things and say, it's the management. They don't call the management into order. They always focus on the coach and the players. You will be the sacrificial lamb if you don't stand your ground now. Till the next video, good people, please take care.